In this session, I'm going to take you on a tour of the setup folder. We won't go through every item, I will just show you items that might be relevant to you. So, from setup, first of all we have the program. Program is where you can adapt various items within the program itself. Next we have practice information, including your phone numbers, your address and your website. Users are configured from here. This is where you might adapt groups and you might reset passwords. Locations allow you to define surgeries, OPG rooms, etc. The patient portal is where we define our patient portal packs. Remember, these packs can be sent to patients' phones. The daily report is very useful. This allows people away from the practice to receive automatic emails detailing practice performance. If we ignore user quick and move on to GDPR, this is the text that will be displayed on the wireless signature pad or on the patient's own device asking for GDPR permission. The system reports allow you to create a pack of reports that will be sent to an individual's email address at a frequency of your choice. This allows people away from the practice to receive updates on the practice performance. Moving along to status. This allows you to define patient statuses which may be active or may be inactive. Occupations can be updated here. This is one way of accessing the accounts for a patient, and you can update the parent or guardian information here. Documents and merge fields I've dealt with elsewhere. Printers is where you can send a document to a unique printer if necessary. Watermarks allow you to have backgrounds within your documents. Spell checker is on a per user basis and can be enabled here. In this GDPR section, we can define if a document is subject to GDPR checks or not. By enabling the dark blue circle, that document will not have to pass through GDPR checks before it's sent to the patient. Identified by the brace icon next to it, field response is an orthodontic only item and, like all other orthodontic items, will be dealt with elsewhere. In the appointments area, we have books and session types, where a book will consist of at least one session type. Appointments will also have reasons. Here you can add or update your reasons. Within the properties, you can update point values, and you can make this enabled for video consultations. You can make an appointment only valid for certain session types. And you can define a patient portal pack which will be delivered to the patient as part of the appointment reminder. You can also configure it for online booking. Cancellation types can be updated here. And DNA reasons can also be updated. Moving on to schemes. This is where you might add a new scheme or update an existing scheme. Within a scheme, it is possible to extend that scheme to other schemes. In this case, if an NHS patient wants private work, they can have it. You can also define your recall types and the appointment reminder correspondence. Items I've dealt with elsewhere. This is the price list section. Price list allows you to quickly change the prices of individual items. Select the item that you want and simply update the price. In here you can also copy entire lists to a new scheme. Implants we're not going to discuss today, but overview is very useful. This will give you a summary of all of your price lists and it can be exported. Risks and benefits are dealt with elsewhere, and there is another orthodontic topic. Moving on to contacts, we can set up general contacts here. All contacts are very similar, including suppliers, and further down you also have your referral contacts too. This is where we update our medical questionnaire. Questions can be moved up or down within the list. You can edit the questions as required. Questions can be male or female specific, or can generate warning flags. Should you require supplementary information, a further question can be added at the bottom. Any question no longer required can be marked as inactive, but by checking this little inactive box at the bottom you will be able to see those questions. And remember, this list can be sent to a wireless signature pad or to the patient's own device. Using the conditions, we can add or edit medical conditions, and under practices you can add new doctor's practices in your immediate area, although we will always load all of the general practices in your area based on your postcode. We have a referral section. This is where you can add or edit your contacts. You can have different referral types and different referral statuses. Let's move on to miscellaneous and your email account. This is the email account from which all correspondence will be sent from within Systems for Dentists. The rest of these icons we don't have to worry about too much. So if we just move on to NHS BCDS, this is where you will configure the individual performer with their NHS contract, that's their PIN and performer numbers. NHS transmissions is where you configure your NHS site. SMSs is where you configure how you set up your SMSs. From reminders, you can define which days you send your messages on and which hours within the day that those are sent. We won't be dealing with these next items within this section, so let's instead move back to custom fields. Custom fields are very useful. If you think there is patient information missing from Systems for Dentists, then you can track it here. With custom fields you can store the information in various formats such as text, checkboxes or drop-down lists. And the great thing is that you can now search these patients for these characteristics and generate reports. In this case we are creating our custom field. Now we simply need to go to our patient. We can click properties and move to the custom field section, or we can double click into our custom fields and you can select and update that custom field. Moving on to the program, this is where you configure your SFD software. Some elements will be specific to the one PC, some to the entire practice. Select message pop-up if you want your messages to appear on screen. Appointment clipboard has different modes for reception and for treatment, and you can also define mandatory properties for the patient record. Under patient flags, you can enable or disable patient flags, and you can change the text within that patient flag. Once you have changed the details you require, simply go to the patient and add the required flag. The Appointments tab allows you to adjust appointment information, including how the patient's name is presented on screen. And via the Correspondence tab, you can adjust which automated correspondence is sent to the patient. You can define how you carry out your periodontal examination here. Under Recalls, you can configure your automated recalls should you wish, including what correspondence is sent, what method of correspondence is used, and when that correspondence is sent. Externals allow us to help you set up your X-ray equipment, and in treatment you can define your treatment parameters such as show closed gaps, and also when you receive an X-ray warning. This will automatically pop up after that amount of months. KPIs can be registered there, and locale information can be updated from this point. Long time format is useful for allowing you to configure how the day of the week is shown on the appointment screen. 3Ds would give you Fri. Adding an additional day at the front would give you Friday. The last item is TAPI, and this just allows us to set up your TAPI interface. Let's move on to patient assessment screens. These are assessments that can be sent to a patient's own phone or to a wireless signature pad. If we edit one that we have created earlier, we can adjust the name, we can adjust the fields. These fields can include checkboxes, they can include text, they can include list items to choose from. Assessment screens are accessed from the Assessments menu, and selecting New allows you to select which assessment you wish to run, and you can fill it in. Remember, this can be sent to the patient's phone or to a signature pad, and can even be included in a patient portal pack to automatically go to their phone as part of an appointment reminder. As mentioned earlier, your contacts, be they general, laboratories or suppliers, or even your referral contacts, are all very similar and can be updated in the same way. System reports can be used to generate automatic emails that will be sent to a recipient's email address and which will contain daily or weekly reports. Configure your recipient, including the email address. Apply any triggers, such as when you wish to receive those reports, and then simply select which reports you wish to receive. Next, let's take a break from our setup directory and move to account full. This is where we update our sundries. Simply go to products, and you can select the item you wish to update. You can track stock levels here. You can update stock levels here. Clicking into an item allows you to adjust its individual parameters such as price and description, etc. If this item is intended to be a sundry for sale, then you must ensure that the type is shown as sundry. Having watched this video, you should now be in a position to update your configuration of the Systems for Dentists software.